My name is Roy Toft. I'm a wildlife photographer and photojournalist, and I actually spend most of my time leading photo tours nowadays, photo tours around the world. Bring people into the field to show them photography and show them wildlife and educate about our natural world. Well, I think with wildlife imagery, it's something that we've all been looking at for a long time. So anything that's different and unique, detail, clean images, behavior, and a storyline, a variety of pictures put together to give you a sense of that animal. I think all of those things are compelling. It doesn't have to be just a pretty picture. We've been looking at pretty pictures of wildlife forever, and it is great to see those. But the compelling images tend to tell a story, and so that's what I search for. One, it has to be kind of a slam dunk. You have to go to places where there's plenty of approachable wildlife. People have to be successful on these trips. So some of the places I go to photograph on my own or on assignment definitely wouldn't be conducive to bring clients. It's too rough, it's too difficult. So clients have to have that mix of accessible wildlife, great photo opportunities, and a comfort. Kind of like this place, right? Ecopia has that mix of wildlife right out your front door, and also what amazing luxury to be able to be in this kind of sustainable, small footprint eco lodge. So these are the places I look for. There's been a few. I've been in the field a long time. I had been chasing the idea of photographing harpy eagles, which is one of the largest eagles in the world, forever. It was something I always wanted to see, even from a young boy. And I finally got the chance about 7 years ago. And my first harpy nest, it was just kind of magic. It all came together with some great people in country in Brazil. The nest was 100 feet up in the canopy in the Amazon. I was hoisted up into the tree, and that was pure magic for me, to be by myself 13 hours a day, to be a fly on the wall and watch this amazing behavior of a mother harpy eagle raising a baby harpy, and the male bringing food in and out. 10 days of that, it was difficult, but it was amazing. As a wildlife photographer, it's always about telling the truth. Yeah, we make beautiful images, but if there's negativity in a story, you have to show that too. Purely beautiful images and perpetuating the idea that there's animals living in this beautiful environment without any harm coming to them or any possible threats. You're doing the nature the disservice by doing that. So everybody thinks everything's hunky-dory. So it's important that, along with the beautiful images that draws people in, you can't start a story with the gory details, but you can thread those into a story. So it's important to show the beauty, but then if there's any threats to that, you have to show that. So yeah, you bring that into the storyline. We do want things close. Photographers are a little different than other user groups that enjoy nature, where, like say a birder, where you can see something very far off and that's still great for them. We need things a little closer, but the ethical part of that is you always want to have an encounter where you're not changing the behavior of that animal. And that a lot of times means a longer lens. We're not approaching wildlife with an iPhone, because we all know how close you have to get with an iPhone, and that becomes problematic for you and the wildlife. So have the proper gear, don't rush a situation. Animals get used to you being there if there's no plausible threat. Instead of approaching that animal directly, which a lot of people will do, I'll wander, zigzag, getting closer to the animal without seeming like I'm zeroing in on them. And that's a great way to start approaching. A little closer, sit, look in the other direction, point your camera in the other direction, So if you spend your time sitting and waiting and let that animal get used to your presence, it'll often just go back to its natural behavior. And that's when you get compelling imagery. First off, beautiful property, beautiful grounds. I see big areas where they have some fencing that have kind of restoration of the wildlife, restoration of the plants. I know there was huge fires in this area 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if this area actually had that. These beautiful hair tree plants from Australia I love are all around the property. And we came on the property and we saw, kangaroos all over the property. We had several echidnas. And coming into the property, I think we had 3 koalas on the driveway coming in, so it slowed us down on arrival just a little bit. So beyond the wildlife here, it's a beautiful sanctuary. I think it's 150 acres of protected reserve. Beyond that is to be in a beautiful accommodation. Solar, small footprint. They do, recycling and composting of all your foodstuffs. So all that is important, to me. I feel like I'm part of nature instead of, coming into a place and just going to view nature. I'm part of it here. So that's what I like. Yeah, it's been a gorgeous stay here and we've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. I mean, look, purely approachable wildlife, it's not afraid of you, within a beautiful scenery. So that's a reason to come just to the reserve and spend time. And then of course to spend the night in one of these, beautiful villas. Love the food, oh my gosh. We did the barbecue and they just laid out some amazing barbecue. Everything is farm to table. They're just top notch. So my wife is making sure that I mention how amazingly delicious the food was. I think the correct answer is for sure you, love. So Stella Toft should come with me. I think Jane Goodall, I would love to have Jane Goodall come here with me. The amazing conservationist Jane Goodall. And also another wonderful conservationist that is passed now, but E.O. Wilson. I would love for him to be here and just enjoy being in Australia.